First, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm head of digital strategy at Absolute Digital Media. We're a full-service digital agency, and we're the guys with the BATAC machine that a lot of people have been exercising on today. I'm a film-obsessed digital strategist. I've been working for over a decade in sales and marketing roles, 5 of them in digital. And I've worked on brand campaigns for Sony, BMW, Mini, Ho Seasons and East of England Co-op, to name a couple. And in my spare time I write and sometimes sleep. This information is relevant because a lot of this is going to be about personalisation of the online experience, so I thought I'd give you a little bit of insight into me. So we're going to start with talking a little bit about the customer journey. So the customer journey now with digital is very complex, more than it has ever been. Whenever I talk about this, I like to talk about a moment that I had when I was working for a new homes builder. This was about 4 years ago, and they were investing hundreds and hundreds of thousands of pounds every month on national and localised print advertising. And I was managing their search engine marketing campaign, and they had call tracking in place. And every month, their call tracking on their print advertisements showed absolutely zero return on investment. However, with a little bit of analysis, we saw that those people were no longer phoning up directly from the newspaper itself. They were sitting at their breakfast tables with their laptops out, and they were doing brand searches for that provider. And we realised that there was return on investment, and I did something that was very unprecedented and validated return on investment from a print campaign, where being a digital marketer, I'm not in the habit of doing that. So the customer journey now is convoluted and complex, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. Who are we as consumers? Well, in the current economic climate, we're researching online more and more. We're looking for purchases, comparing deals, comparing products, comparing features, prices, and then making an eventual purchase decision. That's the customer journey. The journey is unique to each market. However, some data from a Google study that came out is that we spend up to 27 days and 3 hours, 17 minutes across 22 sites before we actually make a decision to purchase. We're tech savvy, we're using multiple devices, and we have attention spans in the milliseconds online. We expect to be thrilled, entertained, empathised with and educated in that very, very short window. We're really a high maintenance bunch. But that's what we need to do within marketing campaigns, and to contextualise that a little bit more. It's developing rapidly. This year, 90% of us will make purchases online, and m-commerce is expected to grow by 40% year on year. So to use a specific example, within the average path to purchase in the apparel category, it lasts for 27 days, takes 6 separate searches across 7 different websites. And these multi-click journeys account for 42% of online sales and are worth more than 8% on average than an average transaction. So the customer journey is growing more complex because we have the resources there to research, and your customers and our customers are all researching us online. They're researching our brands, and they're going to, and it's about how do we maintain that visibility and that brand continuity within the customer journey. And the job as marketers, the new customer journeys, we have now different demands than they did previously. And the challenge is for us, how can we make it personal? So within the purchase funnel, when we look at awareness through familiarity, consideration, purchase, all the way through to loyalty, the challenge is to find where our customers are, find out where the touchstones are in that process at these different levels. And then what we're going to look at today is how remarketing can provide that insight. Even though remarketing is associated with the end of the purchase funnel, with the end of the purchase loop, it can have really strong implications and results from the top of the purchase funnel as well. Because what we base the personalisation of on the customer journey is about how we can meet the customer's needs through data, and in remarketing case, automated marketing activity that directly reflects their behaviour within a website. And we come on to that a little bit more when we look at specifically remarketing. So as we get down towards the purchase loop, the challenge is for us to find out how we can get into the initial consideration set. And then customers are adding and subtracting brands within that based on a research process that involves many different channels online. And then we come to the actual moment of purchase itself, where a brand or service is selected. And then we go to the after post-purchase experience, where we need to create, again, continuity within that customer experience that then leads back to the loyalty, where we go into CRM and we go into the really, really beneficial area where we can create that relationship with a customer. They have really strong associations with a brand. So this is the challenge that's set down to us as marketers, and it's well needed, because as you can see at the moment of purchase, 96% of us, 96% of people will leave a website without actually carrying out that action that us as marketers have intended them to do. 70% of people will abandon a shopping cart without actually completing that purchase. Now, if you put that into context away from digital in an actual shop, those kind of stats are the equivalent of chasing people out of a shop with a broom. It would not be accepted anywhere else, and it's something that all digital marketers are trying to target, because it's all about creating the relevancy and dealing with customer needs at different parts within the customer journey. Now, that can be done by personalization, and what I'm going to talk about in a minute is about how that can be achieved through remarketing. Because with remarketing, you can actually target exactly what the customer's needs are based on what their interactions were within your site. And that process, if you can set it up correctly and use the sophisticated tools to create the lists, then you can actually directly target their needs and drive ROI. And it's all about, as I said, the personalization of the online experience. It's a buzzword. It's what everyone's saying. It's all about personalization. Google is personalizing search results. They now personalize based on search history. They personalize based on social connections. They personalize based on previous queries. The drive for Google Plus and the safe search with the, I'm sure that anyone who manages a website here has seen the not provided data that's now the bane of our existence within the keyword set. Again, that's about personalization. And the objective is to ensure that there's one unified customer-facing proposition across all channels and that it's personal. It's easier said than done, and it's not easy, but it's something that we need to strive towards. And I'm going to talk a little bit about myself now, again, because I like doing that. I love great films, and I will tell you why I'm talking about this in a minute. Films that I like that I've watched recently: There Will Be Blood, A Clockwork Orange, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, The Painted Veil. Films that I don't like: The Shawshank Redemption, which is often controversial with people. Michael Bay films, the Spider-Man franchise, and pretty much everything, because I'm a bit pretentious about film. Now, I'm talking to you about this because this directly impacts my online experience. So when we talk about customer journey, if we talk about when I'm researching a film, I'm researching a purchase of a film, I will visit IMDb, the playlist, Google Organic Search for the title, Google Shopping Search to compare titles, Guardian Review, and Facebook and Twitter to find out what people are saying about that particular film. And if we talk about the customer journey relative to the trust involved, that's a relatively low transaction, so the level of trust is not as high as in a customer journey where there's a lot of trust involved, like looking for a house. So what we need to do is to personalize with remarketing within that process. And the personalization comes from making your marketing messages, offers, and content all relevant to your customers based on how they've interacted with the site. So this is a little bit about how remarketing actually works. The major benefit is that it brings back unconverted visitors and improves return on investment. It works by helping you advertise to people who have visited your website, but the common misconception is that that's only at the end of the purchase funnel. It's only for people who have dropped out of, visited your site once, or dropped out of the actual checkout itself. It may mean that they've abandoned the shopping cart, but it may mean that they've just landed on the homepage based on a piece of outbound advertising that's then driven to the website. And those people are just as important to engage, and they all expect and they all deserve individual marketing messages based on the interaction that they did within the website. So, for example, using my own personal film buying habits. If I go onto a website and buy a film, I get added to a remarketing list. I leave, and then I'm delivered a relevant ad on another website that's based on that remarketing list. And then I return to the website and convert in an ideal situation. So that's how it's structured within the interaction within a website. However, as I said, the common misconception is that the lower goal funnels within the checkout are the only areas where remarketing actually works. So, for example, it works in upper goal funnels as well. So driving interest. So, for example, if I'm going into a website and land on a homepage, I've had a brand interaction and been driven to the website, then the marketing message that I should be delivered is completely different to that of someone who's left from the checkout. So it's a good way to send the upper goal funnels from the homepage. So when you're setting up your remarketing list targeting the upper goal funnels, anyone who lands on the homepage should be delivered a generic call to action for social engagement or for brand engagement, as opposed to a specific product-related call to action that occurs within the mid-goal funnel, which we're going to talk about now. So, for example, instead of landing on the homepage, if someone goes to a category or a product page, then you can actually set up a remarketing list to directly target them, to send them messages within the ad network that directly targets the product that they've viewed, and then target your message directly to address their needs within the buying process. And that, to me, is personalising the online experience, because you're not just sending generic outbound marketing messages, you're responding to their behaviour, which is recorded within the site within a marketing list. And again, the most common section and affiliation with the remarketing works for the lower goal funnels, when people are actually in the purchase loop and they're in your checkout, and if they drop out, it's a fantastic way to drive ROI by sending them a message with a voucher code or some kind of offer that drives them back to the checkout, and then it ensures that they convert within that. So remarketing is a great way of doing that at each level during the customer journey. There are lots of different remarketing solutions that are out there at the moment, but we actually use Google AdWords. And the significance of Google AdWords, there's lots of AdWords is already a well-established interface to manage ad campaigns with lots of intelligent features about it. Remarketing within Google AdWords, there's conversion. One of the main features is the conversion optimizer and remarketing feature. The conversion optimizer creates automated bidding to raise bids on the most likely to convert. In remarketing, time is always a factor. Your conversion rates go down the longer that someone's been away from your site. So you can actually, within AdWords, specify the time that people belong to a remarketing list, and then get them when they're most likely to convert, which is when they've directly left your site, with whatever that is. So if it's in the lower goal funnel, they've directly left your site from the checkout, you want to be trying to drive them back to the website, and you can actually automate the bidding so that your bidding is automatically raised for those people to ensure that you can get your ads positioned in the right place and gain optimum visibility. Also, there's a single solution tag, which is the easy implementation across the site, so that and the integration with Google Analytics that I'm going to be talking about in a bit is, again, it's one tag and it's easy to create custom lists from that. And the intelligence from Google Analytics looks at the behavioral traits within your site, and you can create sophisticated marketing lists that are based on their behavior. For example, how long they've spent on the site, what pages that they've viewed, what marketing campaigns they've come through, which is something we'll talk about in a bit. So remarketing with Google AdWords is an intelligent solution and the GDN auction side of it is we can adjust campaigns based on needs, so that it's not necessarily batch buying of impressions. There's a lot of really specific conversion data that you can get from the AdWords and analytics integration. There's also targeting optimization, so you can target ad placements by topic. You can target ad placements to reach people on certain sites that are converting, and you can also target certain subjects. There's a lot of transparency with the Google solution. You can see where your ads are appearing, what sites they're appearing on, and there's efficient bidding as well. You can pay minimum price for the highest position, and you can, based on quality score. And you can also remarket across media channels. The Google Display Network itself is vast, and it hasn't always had the best reputation. Often the impressions are sky high, but the conversions themselves are not massive. They weren't previously to shout about. However, now they've made massive improvements. There's lots of new features, and there's also remarketing within YouTube. If your strategy involves video campaigns, then you can actually now remarket to people directly within the YouTube platform, which again is another way. Remarketing within the YouTube platform again is great for brand engagement. Any video advertising on the YouTube platform is great for brand engagement, but has still yet to in my experience, find its feet within driving conversions. But again, all the way across the Google Display Network, and also across all the other the ad platforms. And you can run text ads, image ads, and video ads. Those are the unique selling points of remarketing within the Google AdWords interface. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the integration with Google Analytics, which is one of the key selling points for us. Within the intelligent list that you can create in Google AdWords, you can leverage Google Analytics data of your site, so over 200 analytic dimensions. And you can hit really precise audiences, and you can create sophisticated lists based on visitor activity, which basically means that it's built on an intelligent understanding of cross-section visitor behavior. So if you think about when you log into your analytics platform and you look at what type of traffic and any other behavioral metric that's actually within your website, then you can actually create marketing lists that directly target those kind of people who are behaving in a fashion such as the amount of pages they've viewed, the amount of time that they've spent on the site. Also, if they've entered through a certain page and converted, you can send them specific marketing messages, creative messages that's targeted directly at them based on what they've done on your site. And that, to me, is the consumer, the website user speaking to us. Their behaviour within the site is them saying that they have a need, and if they've left the site, then that's something that should be addressed. And again, with the Google AdWords platform, you can directly target that within a certain time limit to ensure that your message is pertinent and it's timed correctly. And also, within the Google Analytics platform, the lists automatically appear in AdWords to run ads within the Google Display Network. So, a couple of major points from the analytics integration of remarketing. Something called the dimension and metric filter and sequence filter, which is really where the intelligent remarketing lists can be created. So if you picture whenever someone comes into your site, they're given you basically implement one tag across the entire site, so it's easy to implement. And whenever they come into your site, you can basically create a marketing list based on how much money someone actually spent. With me, with film, it's usually a lot. How long that person was on the site, and also any dimensions or cumulative metrics across multiple sessions. So anything to say with the amount of money or the conversion within a certain time limit, you can send specific and relevant marketing lists, messages through your marketing list. Also, the other feature that is worth speaking about is the sequence filter. So if a visitor viewed a certain page before converting, then you can target them with a specific message. Or if they came through campaign A and then left the site and then came through another campaign, you can target specific content to them so that you're not repeating the marketing messages. And it's another feature that you can actually cap the amount of messages that certain people are getting. So, for example, you don't want to inundate people within the Google Display Network based on you want to cap the amount of time that your ad's been shown, ideally. But with this intelligent sequence filter list, you can actually send, even if they've come through the campaign already and seen a piece of your marketing material, you can actually send them a new piece so that it's not repetitive. So the idea is that you're delivered relevant information of where they are in their buying process, so that someone who lands on the homepage of the site expects different information to someone who's been through several marketing campaigns, found your site, gone through a category, created a checkout, and then exited the site before they've completed the checkout. And this is what everyone wants within the consumer journey. So, for example, if I'm looking for a new DVD release and land on a homepage, then went out to search further, then I would need to have a specific marketing message within the creative campaign in the Google Display Network to drive me back, different to someone who had been through the entire process. So, and to me, it all equals personalisation. The dimensional metric filter and sequence filter is about personalising the ad experience within the Google Display Network, so that wherever they go online that's part of the Google Display Network, that they're getting a message that is not only from your brand, which is consistent from that brand, but it's also targeting their experience that they've had within the website. So Google remarketing in search, again, there's been some really strong developments there. Now you can have remarketing lists that target actual search terms, so that within the search, if someone's found your website through if someone's visited a page on your website that says red shoes, for instance, then they go out and do a more generic search. Within AdWords, you can actually set up the campaign so that your image-led ad appears within the actual search result within the paid listings where the AdWords section is, which again is about targeting the consumer within their journey. So when they're out doing the research stage, where they've come into your site and done another search, again you have brand visibility within there. And again, you can tell what keyword they're looking for. And again, showing an awareness, because if their query was generic, then you're coming back to them with the specific marketing message that targets the product that they viewed in this hypothetical example, the red shoes. Also, there's now integration with the Merchant Center, and you can create dynamic remarketing ads. So that if you're taking advantage of the new paid listings within the Merchant Center, where it's now a paid service, obviously that kicked off in February. You can now create dynamic remarketing ads where you can have an image carousel of a carousel of images within the SERPs that people can select from. So dynamic remarketing ads are now available, and they're integrated with the Merchant Center that you've already got set up if you're working from a brand perspective. So the case study that we're talking about today is B2B, but remarketing can work across all of it. And as I said, it's an intelligent way of targeting customers at the right time with specific messages, which supports the personalization of the buying process. So we look at the process, I guess, at a high level. It's about creating ads that are relevant to the narrative of your buying process. So, for example, I've used the example of targeting the ads to people based on what their behaviour within the site. That data, a consumer speaking to you. So create something that is relevant to the remarketing list that you've set up. If someone's been on your site for over 5 minutes and added items to a shopping cart and then exited at the checkout, they require a different experience than someone who's just landing on the home page. It's about personalisation. Testing is massively important. We use test ads and run variations of it, create multiple ad listings, and then find the text ads, the findings from that, and implement it into image ads. Something I'll talk a little bit more about within the case study that we're looking at. We also create banner ads and based on other display activity, looking at successful calls to action within the site itself, and utilise that across our remarketing campaign. So testing's massively important, and again, use text ads and test and get the findings and then implement it into your image campaign. And then the next stage is to analyze, use the Google AdWords interface and the integration with GA, and use the 200 plus metrics available to find out how your customers are behaving in your site, and then create sophisticated marketing lists to target that behavior. And then after you analyze, as always with anything, it's to evolve. Your customers are speaking to you through the data within your website, and now with the Google Analytics integration, you can use that behavioral data and you can target it into your AdWords remarketing campaign and target the right people at the right time. The case study I'm going to talk about is Pitney Bowes, which is our remarketing in action. Pitney Bowes is a leading provider of customer communication technologies and the world's largest franking machine supplier. The objective was to create awareness of the Pitney Bowes brand and product offerings to reduce the CPA and drive conversions for their Frank Your Mail product group. After working within the corporate site, we tested a microsite and used that to target remarketing. We used custom combination lists, which basically, this is really important for B2B marketing in remarketing. So it excluded visitors who already filled out the online form. It's not like, because there are no associated products, if you're working with a brand that's selling an item in e-commerce, then there'll be a lot of associations that you can then, in the post-purchase period, you can say, this is associated to what you bought, and that's a very powerful remarketing technique, but not relevant to the B2B market. So we use custom combination lists to exclude visitors who already filled out the online form. We use negative targeting, which is important to keep your cost down, because you can exclude certain types of websites you don't deem relevant, and other websites that are particularly low quality, or websites that are potentially have malware or other types of nasties on them. We also use frequency capping, as I said earlier, so that our ad wasn't shown more than 15 times per day to any particular visitor. And we also run split testing, where we tested text ads and used multiple text ads and image ads, and then implemented the findings from the text ads onto the actual the image campaign itself. And we also tested landing pages as well, which is massively important. So the results for that, in the non-remarketing versus the remarketing campaign, was a 58% reduction in CPA. Now, to put this into the context of the wider search campaign, when Pitney Bowes came on with this, they experienced a conversion rate rise of 8%. So the campaign was actually running at a high level, and this is testament to the way that remarketing can drive conversions and bring down your cost per acquisition. The campaign was, as I said, the campaign was performing well before the introduction of remarketing. One of the interesting things we found in there, that image ads were 31% lower CPA than compared with the text ads, and the conversion rate was 1.5% higher. Now, we feel that this is a testament to the testing process of testing text ads and implementing it into the image campaign. However, it's also, again, a testament to the Google Display Network and its power there. So another really important element about remarketing is the fact that you can integrate this data that you're getting, and it's really valuable in other areas of your digital strategy. So, for example, with the full transparency within AdWords remarketing, you can actually plan your Google Display Network campaign more efficiently, because you can see which sites are relevant and which sites are performing, in a complementary analysis to your GDN campaign. It can also inform outreach strategy in SEO. So we all know how important link building is now a bit of a dirty word, but within outreach, how important it is, and with the Panda and Penguin algorithm updates, how important relevant authoritative sources are. Now, when you go into your remarketing lists and you see where people are converting, when you go into the AdWords interface and you see where people are converting from your remarketing campaign, that's where people are naturally migrating to from your website. So, and they're converting, which means that there's relevant stuff on there. So, especially in B2B, if people are researching in certain blogs or editorials or other kind of news content, then that's somewhere where you should be looking to approach them and say, I have relevant content that I feel is going to be impactful to you, please give me it and get a link back. So it can actually inform your outreach strategy as well through the intelligence you get from the campaign. And obviously user experience testing within your website. If people are converting if people are clicking on your image ads and people are converting from them, then that call to action is relevant. And you can marry that up to where they were in the site from the remarketing list, and you can integrate that on page and test it. You know, user experience testing is a really valuable tool, and remarketing can help to support that. So remarketing, correctly configured, will send messages to the relevant visitor, to visitors relative to where they were within your website, which is about personalising the customer journey. Personalising isn't necessarily knowing people's names, it's just about listening to them when they speak to you during the customer journey. And also it's automated. Automated marketing is a big one that's coming up now, and definitely through 2014. Remarketing is automated, and is a great way of personalising within that automated marketing. So in summary, very quickly, because I'm aware I'm running a bit over, it's a complex customer journey. We need to personalise by targeting needs based on their behaviour within their site. That can be done using the integration of Google Analytics by using the behaviour within the site and then putting that into the Google AdWords interface within a remarketing list. You can target multiple levels of the goal funnel within remarketing, so it's not just the people who are dropping out of your checkout, it's not just people, it's also targeting people who are on the homepage of your website, but specify the content so it's directly targeting where they are in the consumer journey. And also leverage your GA data to personalise. So it's all there, the data is there, and your customers are speaking to you through their behaviour within the website. And now you can use that data intelligently within a remarketing campaign. And again, use the data and integrate to inform your wider digital strategy. It's all about data now, and that data is something that can really improve and drive your ROI. Right, thank you very much for listening. We are at stand C32. If you want to come and ask any questions and speak to us about that, then please do. We're going to make a white paper available for everyone who was scanned in here that targets directly the setting up within AdWords and the integration with Google Analytics. So that gives a bit more of a step-by-step guide to how to actually physically do it. So please come and speak to us at the stand. Thanks very much for listening.